Damn, 2 videos in one day for me? That's crazy. Today is March 3rd, 2024. The Switch has turned 7 years old, and I wanted to take a look back, just sit down, relax, just talk about my 7 years with the Switch. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, 7 years ago, we got a new Nintendo console, and it just hit out the park. It's slowly becoming one of the best-selling consoles of all time, finally beating out the PlayStation 2. And in 2017, it's just hard to think of 7 years ago where I've been. My life has changed so much, even in the last 3 years, let alone 7. Like, back in 2017, I was starting college, and now I'm working a full-time job. I'm doing all that stuff. So when the Switch was first, like, rumored, I would say, like, when it was in, like, 2016, I would say, because around that time I didn't have a Wii U. I wanted a Wii U for a long time, but I didn't have a part-time job around the time, like, 2013, 2014, when I really wanted it, when Mario Kart 8 and Smash 4 was coming out. I remember, like, when the real rumors were coming out in 2016 of the NX, back in the NX days, those craziness. And I remember specifically, like, different videos around, like, I think it was, like, in February or March of 2016. Not long after Nintendo announced that the Switch was going to come out in March 2017, well, NX at the time, along with Breath of the Wild, that, like, rumors were saying that, yeah, it's gonna come out fall 2016. And I still remember putting out a Facebook post, sharing a video from Super Metal Dave 64, and now deleted a video of him basically being, like, confirmed for fall 2016 and being hyped about that. And I followed, my ear was to the ground when it came to NX rumors. I remember those days of, like, you know, your Laura K. Dales, your Emily Rogers, your whoever was, like, throwing out stuff. And of course, when the dust settled, only really Emily Rogers won, really, right? I still remember Laura K. Dale said on, like, a podcast or something that there wasn't going to be friend codes on the Switch. Don't think I forgot about that, Laura K. Dale. I still remember. But yeah, I remember when I picked up my Switch finally, and it was around July of 2017. It was right after I got my first part-time job, and I was saving up for that. And I remember, like, it was around that time where, like, the Switch was, like, it was hard to come by. It was, like, it was really difficult. There's scalpers, of course, but it's not as bad as now with the bots and stuff, but still was pretty difficult. And I remember I was at a mall, like, further down in town, and I was with my mom and my sisters, and then I got a text from my buddy being like, yo, I'm at this Walmart nearby. It was, like, closer to my house, and he's like, yo, there's a Switch here, there's, like, one left, you should probably go check it out. And I begged my mom to drive down to, please keep taking me to the Walmart that's close to the house, and, like, begging her to take me, and I finally did, and I got it, and I picked it up with Mario Kart 8 because that was the only game they had in stock at the time. So I played Mario Kart 8 for a while, and then not long after that I picked up Splatoon 2, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild during the holiday season, which I got the Explorer edition, which, like, came with, like, a little art book thing. But the neat thing was that Best Buy had a thing for the Boxing Day, which is what we have in Canada here, which is like Black Friday, but not really. It used to be better than Black Friday. But anyway, yeah, they were doing this whole thing where, like, you would get Breath of the Wild for MSRP, but also get the expansion pass for free, basically. So I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then, yeah, and the Switch, I remember, like, when I first, like, opened it up, played it around with it, and just being shocked and awed that, like, this is it. This is a new, like, it was a new concept for me to think about. Like, it's a handheld and a console. And I still remember, like, the nights I would play in my bed Mario Odyssey, putting a console level brand new 3D Mario in my hands. That was so cool. And then 2018 rolls around, and 2018 was definitely a little bit of a low period. There wasn't a lot of releases. You had, like, Kirby Star Allies. You had literally not much, too much, leading into Smash Ultimate, and the hype cycle for Smash Ultimate was really good, like, insane. I remember, like, every single time Sakurai posted something, I was there. I still think the Smash 4 hype cycle was better. I don't, like, just that era of, like, you know, always checking in and the pick of the day and all that stuff. I think it was overall better. But Smash Ultimate, it being the ultimate version of Smash Brothers, like, that was insane. And the amount of characters, of course, it getting DLC. I still remember Game Awards 2018 when Joker was announced for Smash, and I lost my shit. Of course, that was the other thing, so I had to think, the presentation. they really nailed the Nintendo Directs in this era. Where the best thing about Nintendo Directs now is that they're less frequent. Because remember, early on in the Wii U era, they would have one like almost every month, and it just felt like a lot. Remember back then, I didn't even watch them like monthly. I would like catch up on a few here and there, and then just stick with the E3s at that time. But now it's like, you know, you got one in February, basically during the different quarters of the year, February, June, and September. And that's really what it falls. And there were some really good directs this generation. I think back to, of course, E3 2017, when Pokemon was finally announced to be coming to a console, and it's just Ishihara just sitting on a desk writing something and be like, yeah, we're doing Pokemon on Switch, get hyped, I guess. And then, of course, the big announcement from that was Metroid Prime 4, of course. Hopefully it's coming soon. But I think back to like the random directs that would happen throughout the years. I still remember 2018 when Final Fantasy was announced for the Switch, where it was like Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12 all coming to the Switch. And just getting hyped with stuff like that. The third-party ports were really good. This is where I feel the third parties were really good. There were some, of course, downsides. They did a lot of ports, a lot of like smaller tier projects, but I don't know, I just felt like it was nice to have stuff like, for example, like having Final Fantasy 7 on a Nintendo console for the first time. Things like that, just having stuff. Having things like Doom 2016 run on the thing. Having like stuff like Witcher 3 down the line. You know, these big third-party ports, and just third-party ports in general. It was nice to just have these type of games that were never really on a Nintendo console, or even if they were like watered down ports or exclusive little things that you would find on the Wii or stuff. It just really felt like it felt fresh, it felt new, everything about it. It just felt so great. Nintendo was just on something. As the years gone by, you know, you go into 2019, and that's where 2019, I would argue, is a pretty good year. 2017 is obviously one of the best, if not the best. 2019, though, I felt like I was really like going in on the game releases that came out that year. I was buying basically every single one that year. You think about like Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astral Chain. Those ones I think back to back of like those amazing franchises, just amazing games to see on the platform. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, for all its flaws, was a decent Pokemon game to have on the system. And in general, it was just so fun to just always be in tune what's coming out on Switch, what's doing this, what's doing that, all that stuff. And it was just so much fun. Of course, 2020 rolls around, 2020 for it being what it is. I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons, one of the highest selling games, period. And just that era, it didn't really click as much as it did for other people, but I enjoyed it. I got the hype, I played around with it, and that was great. 2021 rolled around, we had Metroid Dread, a brand new 2D Metroid. Like, are you kidding me? Or some other ones, like I almost forgot, Link's Awakening remake came out. We had some like interesting stuff as time went on, and 2022 was an okay year, I would say. 2023, however, is up there as one of the best years ever. Like, I think it's amazing. It had like so many releases. From like, you had like things like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, Future Redeemed, freaking amazing. I talked about it a lot in my 2023 recap video. And now we're at the 7-year mark, and now I'm just thinking, like in the last, I would say, probably since 2019, I've been kind of tapped out of the Switch. It's hard to say, but really it wasn't until, I probably would say, when the PS5 and Xbox dropped around there, 2019, 2020, 2021, around those years, around there is when the Switch stopped being like my primary system, quote unquote. Like, I still played games on like my PS4, my Xbox, my PC, whatever, but like the Switch was where I went to play games that I really wanted all the third-party ports to come out. I still remember back in the day putting out, like, I wanted Nier Automata to come on the Switch. I wanted Persona 5. One of my first videos I've ever made was Persona 5 Royal coming to the Switch. But as the time went on, I feel like the Switch kind of lost its luster as time went on. Like, in the beginning, it was so cool to get like stuff like Final Fantasy 12, BioShock Infinite, XCOM 2, whatever, you know, like those like console level games on the Switch. But nowadays, it's like even now with like stuff like the handheld PC scene of like Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Lenovo Legion Go, any whatever, it's not even that. It's just, I'm kind of tapped out with the Switch. I mean, like, has been the longest we've been with a Nintendo console before, in terms of a home system. This is the first time. This is 7 years going on 8 years where we've been having them as the main platform. Now that, like, the handheld and console scene have merged, it's kind of been like you start to feel it, like. And we could talk about the Wii U ports. We can talk about how Nintendo's kind of been on cruise control for the most part. The Switch is kind of just selling itself. They never really had to try. I mean, every single holiday season they have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as the bundle, and for good reasons. I mean, it's one of the highest selling games of all time, the highest selling Switch game, so it makes sense. But now I'm kind of just like, I'm ready for the next thing. I've been ready for the last, like, I want to say 2.5 to 3 years now. And I'm hoping, like, I was hoping this year was going to be the year, but judging by the rumors, it's going to be next year. But I love the Switch. The Switch is probably one of my favorite consoles, my favorite Nintendo consoles for sure. It got me, like, everything about the Switch, it got me back into being a Nintendo fan. The Wii U era was rough. It was very, very rough to be a Nintendo fan. I mean, a lot of people written them off at that point. I still remember the articles people would post up. Should Nintendo go third party? Should Nintendo pull a Sega? Is Nintendo done? Blah, 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 blah. And just see the comeback was so nice. Like I said, the Switch library is watered down with some ports, but there's some good games on the Switch. Some of my favorite games of all time have been played on this handheld / console hybrid, whatever you want to call it. And for that, I want to, like, there's no much else to say. I mean, I really enjoyed the Switch. I love the Switch. Could it have been better? Could we have gotten less ports? Could we have gotten more stuff? I honestly think that since they merged, they kind of like the fact that they haven't been on like 100% is kind of weird, because like, they've been relying, I feel like they've been relying on these ports / remasters, whatever. I'm saying whatever a lot, but they've been relying on a little too much, especially in the last few years, I would say. Because if you really think about it, how many brand new, original, new experiences have you gotten on the Switch? And it's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of ports, a lot of remasters, and like I said, I enjoyed it. I played Skyward Sword on this thing. I loved it. So it's not like that I don't hate it, but like, compared to other consoles, I would have liked more original projects. But regardless, though, it was always fun. Again, it was that novelty of like playing it on the go, docked, whatever. Playing handheld games on the big screen, like, aside from stuff like the Super Game Boy Player, was always nice to see. To have a mainline Pokemon game in Let's Go Pikachu, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, regardless of its performance, that's always fun. And for that, I have enjoyed my experience with the Switch. 7 years on, I still enjoy it. I love popping in, playing some games. It's definitely gotten less and less as years gone by, and I'm ready for the next thing. But damn it, was it a good 7 years? Like I couldn't ask for a better system overall. So with that, happy birthday, Nintendo Switch. I'm ready for the next thing. But these last 7 years have been great. I mean, there's not much else to say. But yeah, with that being said, comment down below what you guys, what's your experience with the Switch, your favorite games on Switch, your memories with the Switch, how you got your Switch. And yeah, like this video if you haven't already, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Who knows, maybe a double upload again, who knows. But yeah, with that being said, this has been Moawe, signing out.